and he's a member of First Baptist, and we have not tried to recruit him to Church of the Highlands. If you have bought a house in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, chances are you bought it from Ronnie.
My first one in 1986, I bought from Ronnie.
He has been selling houses and helping people out for decades, and he's a good friend, and just love him to death. And he's every morning he's out there helping the kids at Matthews, get in and out of their cars and inspiring them and everything. And he just had some things he wanted to talk about, and we're going to give him the opportunity to do that. So, Ronnie, take it away.
John, Dan, thank you so much. There's 5 groups that really have helped me increase my walk from my knees to my chest, and I've got a ways to go. But over the last 10 years, these groups have, I love them all. And the 2 equal, no particular order, but these 2 are the most important 2 is my church family, my Sunday school class, and then there's 3 special smaller groups. My John Belcher Bible study group that I met John, and we've been having that 7 or 8 years. And then a few years back, John invited me to a unity group. And I wanted to get in that unity group because at that time there was something happening in Minnesota. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but I loved my grandchildren. I didn't want them to have any problems.
George Floyd.
So I didn't want my grandchildren to have problems at school. But there were no problems here. But I joined that group for that reason. And boy, did I hit on a group that we all, through relationships, we get together on Wednesday mornings, and we jank each other the first 15, 20 minutes, and then we get into some good conversation, but we've all got to be good friends and brothers of each other. But let me back up. I want to tell you, because about 9 or 10 people know how I start my morning. Mm-hmm. And I think this will tie in to what I'm trying to say. It's a kind of a small testimony. In the morning, I'm so excited. I get up early. I've always get up early. I try to go to the office between 4:30 and 5. But when I get out of bed, I do something that I put my fingers up like this. I stand up, put my fingers up. I think I'm ready to hit the day. That's just a practice I've been doing for several months now. But when I walk into my home office, I see pictures of my 2 kids. They're now 40, soon be 46 and soon be 36, Brett and Chrissy. And I put thumbs up again. Sometimes I say a prayer right in front of that chair. I kneel down and say, how God, I'm blessed to have such good kids and families and in-law, son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws and grandchildren. I'm just thankful. And then I sat down for Bible study at the home office, John, and I studied from 4 books, and one of them is your devotional book. I'm on Thursday, February the 22nd today, or 20th, what it is, and I read it every morning. And then, but I also have 2 Bibles. My regular Bible the kids gave me, I've had it for years, but I also use another Bible because it has subnotes. And I'm trying to do 2 chapters a day in that Bible. I'm in the middle of Psalms right now, and I'm reading the subnotes in one Bible, and then going back and reading the other one again. Then I do my Sunday school lesson that we're going to talk about with John Hogue, another mentor of mine, or like y'all are, and then I go to the devotional, and all right, but that's not the big part. Those are thumbs up. I get in my car and used to do it with my dog. I had to put my dog down last week. I wasn't very happy about, but still, I go to the office at 4:30 to 5, and my first stop is my church. I think some of y'all have told y'all, but I think only 10 or 20 people know that. I go to my church steps, but when I drive in the dark and I hit now called Almond Avenue, when I turn right onto 8th Street, I go about 15 yards and I look up and I see the light on the steeple of my church at First Baptist, and I do a fist pump. When I get to the church steps, I do a fist pump. It don't matter if anybody's driving by, I'm gonna thumbs up and do a fist pump. And then I spend a couple minutes in time speaking with the Lord in prayer. And sometimes the whole week is the same topic, and come back to recommunicate with the Lord. But on Sunday morning, I come at 4:30 or 5. I go to the office, back home, and me and Shirley come to church. But at 4:30 to 5, I do the fist pump. But then I do it again because I cannot wait to get back to walk in those doors. Y'all seen how I walk in the door at First Baptist and see my church family. My wife says, Ronnie, it takes you 10 minutes to get to your seat. That's because I want to talk to everybody because they're my buddies, my friends. And maybe it goes from Grady to Larry and Candace to Coach Khan's set of friends to Larry and Pat to Slavic's family to the Abernathy's families to all my friends sitting around me. It takes me 10 minutes. And I say, Shirley, I enjoy that. That brings me joy. And I even told our Bible study group today, I know it brings me more joy now to do that than go to a football game. Mm-hmm. And I might not have said that years ago, but I do say that now. But when I walk into I love my church. I love my church family. I love my Sunday school class. My two teachers are really my teachers, John Ho for 40 years, but Wes Perry also speaks. And just like these guys, I've gone through the Bible maybe 4 times. I'm doing a little slower now, trying to study it more. Mm-hmm. But I know y'all have gone through it 10 or 15 or 20 times. And I lean on y'all because I know I call y'all my cheat sheet. If I got a question, I can ask y'all directly. Well, no, I remember the old yellow books we had in school, whatever. But nevertheless, so my Sunday school class, I talk to John Hogan. I always ask questions that from a Christian that's still learning. Still want to ask a question if somebody has more wisdom because y'all studied the Bible probably more like 10 or 15 times when I've gone through it the 4th time. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget when I met John the first time, from a small group to the unity group. My first thought about John, what I knew was that even although the guys got more wisdom in my group than I do, I listened attentively to John because I knew he wrote books, I know his background, and I knew my ears would be open.
I just have you buffaloed.
Buffalo?
I'll have you buffaloed.
Buffalo? All right. So that's what I'm excited about. But I want to focus right now on unity. Our group has been so much fun that they mean a lot. All the guys mean a lot to all of us, and we're friends and brothers. We have everybody's back. What we do outside the unity group with Matthew's school, my talk about Dan was his heart's like mine. Me and him love those kids so much. We're just high-fiving them and kidding them, and we wouldn't miss it because it brings joy to us, Yeah. And so it's just a great thing. But the unity group here, our goal is to triple in size and maybe get it from 24 to 48 to 96. And we're already being seen. We're being seen at the Matthew School and the park we built.
I also think one of the things that makes a big difference is getting out of your comfort zone. And that's something that you and Dan definitely have done, is going to an elementary school, and both you guys are older than 30. And
spoken from
and
one who knows how it feels.
Yeah, and helping these elementary school kids out of their cars. And I remember when we went back at the very beginning, some little kid gets out of the car and goes, "Mom, there are boys here," because they don't see many men at the elementary school.
Right.
It was just a big deal. So,
well, the group is fantastic. But I really have grown in the love, and I can actually say that I love my church family, which is when I walk in the church at early morning service. My family's the whole church is my family, but everybody on the right side, I know them well. I know all their hearts, everything. And my class, how we look after each other in our Sunday school class, but how our unity group looked after each other, how our John Belcher. So I encourage y'all you be so surprised at what you will learn and jank with the people in the unity group, because we do many, many things, but I give a thumbs up many times. I know good and well that when I've left the unity group meetings, I walked outside and said, "Boy, I'm glad I did not miss today," because that day was maybe more special than other days. So our unity group and the guys in it, and the other two groups, Ed Back's lecture that a lot of people from First Baptist attend on Thursday night. Boy, I tell you what, that's exciting. But I encourage you to look into our unity group. We're visiting churches once a year, and we're visiting them to show unity. And and we've done Anderson's church, we've done my church, we've met mostly at the Church of the Highlands and Anderson's church. We've also had some meetings at First Baptist Church. We had some meetings at Northport Baptist Church, and so but we visit the churches of each member of our little group just to show unity.
Yeah, one of the things, it seems like bad news gets reported a lot. We recently had this thing at Tuscaloosa County High School. This kid posted a very, very inappropriate date request to a girl. It's very inappropriate, many racial overtones to it. We don't talk too much about some of the good things that happen. If you could just capture an image. One of the members of our group is James Williams, and James is the current president of the SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, founded by Martin Luther King. And James is the president. And James is just a little ball of fire. He's just a ball of fire. And is probably as democratic as you're going to get. Okay. On the other hand, another one of our members is Hayes Webb, our current district attorney. And Hayes is just about as Republican as you're going to get. And to picture these two men on their hands and knees in a Matthews bathroom painting the walls is a sight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's a sight that it would be much nicer to see more and more and more and more of that type of a deal rather than some kid posting an inappropriate request for a date.
Yeah. A couple other things that stick out to me in our men's group, John, is that I'm so impressed. One of our members is Joe Eatman. Mm-hmm. And I had prepared all the words to say about each guy because I can wing it. I don't have to wing it. I know what to say. But Joe, I love his family sat with me at Church at Highlands one time, and I was so impressed with that family. Mm-hmm. He brings his family.
Beautiful family.
But Joe also brings intelligence of his age group. And I was so impressed one time because some of us, you'd be surprised at some of the comments we have learned in 3 or 4 years but we have so much love for each other that one time Joe was talking to James. Now James is the guy we all say, man, if I was going to go on a trip somewhere, I want James to go. He's so cool. He dresses so well. He's fun to be around. He makes you laugh. But James.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I call him Hollywood.
But I think because of your wisdom, you made a question one time about walking something back a little bit in the SCLC. Mm-hmm. And Joe, being a little bit younger, but also equal wisdom and intelligence, has kind of said, well, maybe James kind of agreed that needs to be walked back. Mm-hmm. But boy, Joe said, hey, James, take care, maybe don't want to do that because walking something back might get you more trouble with the generation he's talking to. Mm-hmm. And that was just love that one black member of our community group talking to an older black member that we're all having fun to be with, Mm-hmm. And then I still remember the relationships, our main motto is relationships destroy racism. And one way it happened was that Joe and Hayes, being so good of friends, was it a disc jockey? There was somebody was saying something about Hayes.
It was a pastor of a predominantly black church.
Okay. There was a pastor saying something about Hayes, and since we're all friends, Joe knew the pastor could have been wrong. He maybe had made many assumptions because he never met Hayes. Mm-hmm. Well, Joe arranged a meeting with this pastor and Hayes, and a week later, they're friends.
They're big buddies.
Big buddies.
They've had a lot of common ground. Both of them were Marines, and so that, bless their heart. So that was funny. They were able to bond there, but what they did was they invalidated their assumptions about one another, And that guy realized that Hayes is a pretty cool guy, and Hayes realized this guy's a pretty cool guy.
Funny thing about Hayes and is that Hayes brings a lot of intelligence to the group. And usually all his rants, we call it Hayes rants. Hayes rants are usually right on. But one time, I'm almost 70. And I'm starting to lose a little bit. And my kids start brain cells, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm rushing to think and rushing to speak. And I just do two things too fast. But nevertheless, what was I talking about now? Talking about Hayes. And the rants, yeah.
rants.
One time I got part of a rant 'cause I said something wrong. And boy, he was right. But I guarantee you, if Hayes is talking, I'm gonna hold this arm like this. I'm gonna be careful. I don't want to be part of a Hayes rant because I'm losing. Okay, but our group means so much to each other that I just invite you to, if you really want your walk to get like the way I've gotten it, it's because of these guys. It's because the guys in Unity Group. It's because of Belcher's Bible Study Group. It's because of Ed Back. It's also because of 40 years at First Baptist Church and my church family and my Sunday school class. That's the message I wanted to get, but I want to try to help our goal of getting our unity bigger. One of our new members is Mason Bonner. Mm-hmm. Mason came in, and he's also now, when he talks, I'm listening.
Yeah. One of the things we may want to, I think we're about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And the Lord said that He came to give us life and give it to us abundantly. That's what it looks like.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted to. I couldn't wait when Dan said, "Hey, can you come this morning?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." I mean, that brings me enjoyment, and I appreciate you two guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for joining in. And once again, as always, if you like this content, please like the video and subscribe. And we'll keep you updated as we keep putting out new content. We want to thank Ronnie for coming in and sharing his heart. And got any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Thanks, everybody.